We are live. Welcome back after Easter. And I've got Matt with me today, and he's chosen this song. I'm the one-way motorway, the one that drives away and follows you back home. I'm a street light shining, a white light blinding bright and burning off and on. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you learn to live again. Times like these you learn to live again. Times like these you learn to live again. I could play that all day. I love that song. What a great shout. Matt, thank you so much for joining us from your deathbed. I hope you're feeling okay, sir.
Yeah, I'm feeling better. It just came on over the weekend, so hopefully I don't burst out into coughing fits, and apologies if I do.
Oh, bless you. Well, thank you so much for joining us. First question I always ask my guests is, why on earth did you choose that song?
Yeah, so I guess it takes me back, I guess, to probably mid teenage, late teenage years. Had friends that were in bands, and it was just sort of always takes me back to that type of time, and and just a different time in life, different stage in life.
Yeah, no, fantastic. It's our formative years, isn't it? When you know, and there's some songs that just click and you just reminisce and take you back. So I'm glad about that. So you say you're friends in bands. You've never been in a band yourself?
I've not. No, I was always the roadie. I was always the guy that had to lug the speakers up the stairs and down the stairs, and the drum kits and the guitars and stuff. But no, never made it into a band myself.
That's the worst part of being in a band is setting up at the beginning. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, please, Matt.
So do you want the long or the short version, Ashley?
Up to you. This is your show, sir.
Okay, so I guess if we go current day. So current day, financial planner. Recently launched my own practice. As in the start of this month, launched my own practice. Prior to that, I was directly within St James's Place, again as a financial planner. Pre that, sort of career goes into business development roles in health and fitness, for sort of back 17, 18 years. And the financial planner thing really came about as being able to bring me back to being able to support people and help people in a meaningful way. For me, financial advice, financial literacy is something that isn't taught at school, not to any real degree anyway. I wanted to be able to get back to a position where I could help people in a similar way that I had with the health and fitness environment. And that was born out of the reason for wanting to be able to come back and help people, sort of really born out of some personal experiences within sort of family dynamics where, you know, not having that financial clarity and that financial understanding has caused some pain and issues that perhaps didn't need to be there. My real sort of why, I guess, behind doing what I do is to help people have that clarity and confidence, and not have to experience possibly some of the pain hopefully none of the pain that I've seen others go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, financial planning, we need to do it ASAP. We can't leave it until it's too late. And we're going to get into that, into the bones of that in a second. But I want to know a little bit about LinkedIn and other social media. So what social media do you use, Matt?
Yeah, so primarily it is LinkedIn is the main sort of business port of call for social media. As the majority of people, I have a Facebook presence, which is generally just for wishing friends and family happy birthday. Yep. And then also I have set up Instagram profiles as well, for, again, from a professional point of view, to try and reach potential clients and just spread the message of financial education through those channels as well. But LinkedIn is the main one. I've been on LinkedIn for about 13 years, I think. 2010, I think I worked out earlier, was when I first joined LinkedIn.
Wow.
I've probably only really been active on it since the beginning of this year, to any meaningful degree.
Okay.
Before that, it was really just a holding place, a CV page, and somewhere that I would go and check out other applicants for jobs if I was interviewing people. I didn't really use it for any business development purposes or relationship building purposes or anything like that.
But that's what you use it for now?
But that's where, since the start of this year, that's the route I'm going with it.
And why do you like LinkedIn then, Matt?
One, because it's the audience. LinkedIn is definitely, as you'll probably be able to sort of agree with it. I think LinkedIn has changed dramatically over the last 2.5 years in terms of the content that's acceptable and the way that people interact and the conversations that I had. But ultimately, the way I like LinkedIn is ultimately my audience that I want to be able to serve is on LinkedIn primarily, owner operated business owners. So that's sort of reason number one. But also the fact that you can have that diverse conversation from a business related post through to a more relationship forming and informative post. Everything's acceptable and everything's accepted. So so that for me is the reason why.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you post your own content, do you?
I do. Yeah. I try to three times a week as a minimum. Some weeks I manage 5, but three as a minimum is what I look to achieve. And that's all self-generated content, either things that I have. So I'm a big reader. I'm a big believer in long life learning. So I'm a huge reader and listener to podcasts and things. And quite often I will pick up things that spark my imagination, and suddenly it's like, okay, well, I can create, if I found that informative, then I believe others will. And I then tailor whatever I've heard or read into my own message to put into LinkedIn. But yeah, I'm creating I have tried ChatGPT stuff and using AI to create it. And I think it has a place. I think for me at the moment though, it's I'm finding I enjoy creating my own stuff as well. So
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. You just mentioned ChatGPT. I'm just going to quickly pop this up because in a couple of weeks' time, so on Friday, the 21st of April, I have got Nadine Thompson, and she's coming in to talk about artificial intelligence and ChatGPT and why we should be using it. So yeah, there's a real use case for this technology. But I'm a bit like you. I'm sort of like, I've written a book. And sort of like what you start using all of that, but hang on, we're using AI in everything that we do, because that's just the way it's all going. It just makes life so much easier. And we're all texting. That's all predictive text. That's AI, and but the thing is for me, and I'm sure Nadine will tell me differently, but the thing is for me is when I start writing something as content on LinkedIn, it's me, and I'm not sure how AI is going to do that. And obviously that's what you've found. Do you get business as a result of your activity on LinkedIn then, Matt?
Directly, not as in somebody appearing in my inbox and saying, can we have a conversation?
I saw that lovely post. Can I have some financial planning, please?
Yeah. So not to that point, but definitely to the point of conversations that have come from content that I've posted that have then gone on to further conversations. So as a ripple effect, yes, but not as a direct. I put this up. Here you go. Let's have a chat.
No, perfect. So this financial planning, you've just set up your own practice. So what were you doing before, and why have you set up your own practice? Tell us a little bit about that then, Matt.
Yeah. So directly before setting up the practice, I was within St. James's Place. So St. James's Place is, you may or may not be aware, is the UK's largest wealth manager, FTSE 100 company. And so I was working within that business. An opportunity came around for me to then become an appointed representative of St James's Place. So I still, the products, the solutions, the services that I provide are still St James's Place backed product solutions. But I hold more of my own destiny by being my own practice owner ultimately, and can have the conversations that I want to have. I can shape the advice that I want to provide, but with the support of St James's Place behind me, which, as I say, is a behemoth really of a business, and by also having that, it takes a lot of it allows me to spend more time customer facing, having the conversations with the customer that are meaningful, and allowing St James's Place to do the other work in the background that goes with running a financial planning business.
Yeah, no, perfect. So what type of clients do you actually work with then, Matt?
Yeah, so pre-practice, it was very wide and broad. The purpose of me setting the practice is to work with owner-operated business owners across Leicestershire, predominantly. I find, and I have, there's a real opportunity within, not only for the business owners within that space, but there's a lot of belief, I think, from some of the conversations I've had, that the business will be the pension. And that is the only fallback. There's very other little planning that goes into that, and I mean, we won't get into it for now because it's only we're in a short defined period of time. But there's there's probably more risk with that mentality than versus being diversified, to use a technical term. But having all your eggs in one basket of your business being your retirement plan. There's lots of what's ifs and buts and maybes on the other end of that. If in 20, 30 years time, the sale of that business doesn't materialize, or the valuation is not what you thought it was going to be, or just so many if buts and maybes related to that. Whereas having a more diversified plan, which could cover a multitude of assets, then you're de-risking that for yourself, and also having a little bit more control over your future plans.
Yeah. And I guess, so I've just celebrated my 2nd year in business, and somebody commented on my post saying that, do you realize that only 20% of businesses actually get this far? So that, we do need to diversify. Talking of diversification, Richard's come up with a cracking question. Do you find, Matt, that your clients are now more ethically driven in their decision making?
So definitely is more of a consideration. There's more conversation being had around ESG, so environmental social governance, and sort of ethically driven. And so whether some clients want to know where their money's going. So what's it being invested in? Which funds is it being invested in? Is it things that are going to be, supporting war? Is it things that are going into tobacco, oil? There's a wide range of things that people want to know about, but it definitely features more in conversations now, as to what's happening with their money, and also then what impact they're having on the world, because ultimately the money is being invested into businesses, companies that are going out and then utilizing that money to run their operations and do, and so they want to ensure that it's being put into businesses that are doing good in the world versus those that are not.
Yeah, no, great question, Richard. I hope that answers your question. So with the what you're doing, what's the difference between a financial planner and an IFA, and which one are you?
Yeah, so an IFA can be a financial planner as well. So with financial planning, you may hear it called financial planning, financial advisor, lifestyle financial planner, IFA. Like, there's so many titles that somebody could have. The two real differences are whether somebody's a restricted advisor or an independent financial advisor. So myself, being connected as a appointed representative of St James's Place, I'm a restricted advisor, which means that I'm restricted to the products and services provided by St James's Place and the solution providers in the group. If somebody is an independent financial advisor, then they can, in theory, go off and create a relationship with whatever solution provider they wanted to, and don't have to, aren't restricted in the same way.
Yeah. Okay. And so in each one has got its benefits or its drawbacks and stuff like that. And I guess, no, is anyone ever truly independent? Because there's such a big market out there. How can you turn around and go, oh, you want to be doing this, and this? You're going to have your pet funds and stuff, aren't you?
Well, so it's so interesting you should say that, actually, because it normally gets thrown back at a restricted advisor that you are restricted, and you're not independent in the same way that an IFA is. However, that's the point that seems to get missed, is that there's a lot of time and effort that goes into creating, a solution for a client. And if an IFA was truly scouring the market for every available opportunity and every available solution, and doing all of the research that's involved with that, they would spend very little time facing a client and having any conversation with a client and actually making any meaningful difference to them. So I don't know this because I haven't operated as an IFA. I've had conversations with IFAs, but yeah, I would believe that there is a handful that they would go to as the ones that they become experts at, I guess, in the same way that I'm an expert in the ones that I work with and deal with. They would have those that they fall back on because they know, trust, and understand those products more than others. So
yeah, it's an absolute minefield, isn't it? And so what's your one piece of advice for an owner-managed business that's looking to retire on a decent income? What would be the first thing that they should be doing today?
Yeah, I think if somebody doesn't already have a provision in place, if they haven't already thought about retirement planning and their business is the one thing that they are looking to fall back on as their retirement plan, then the advice would be to seriously consider diversifying out of that and looking at other options to support that, and making putting a provision towards that planning, whatever that might be. It could be a few £100s a month, it might be more, it depends on each individual circumstances. And if somebody does already have a diversified plan, so the business isn't the only thing that they're reliant upon, then again, just regularly reviewing that plan to make sure it's still aligned to what you're looking to achieve in later life. And ultimately, we all go to work, or we all operate a business for a lifestyle. Income ultimately funds lifestyle. That's all we do it. If we didn't have to go to work and we didn't have to bring in an income and we could live whatever life we wanted, then I can't think there's too many people that actually would. So we're all doing it for lifestyle purposes. So yeah, reviewing plans and just making sure that everything is aligned in the direction that you want it to go to enable you to live that lifestyle that you want.
Oh, fantastic. You managed to live. I was worried that you were going to die during this.
Yeah.
We'll call it a day there, because I don't want to risk your voice any longer. I've got one more question for you, but before I go to that, I just want to go to my guest next week, just to let you know. I have got the lovely Becky Craven. So she's into her photos, she's into Instagram. She's going to come and tell us all about that and that type of marketing. So against LinkedIn, but she's lovely, so I can't wait to see her. And again, a quick reminder that on the 21st we've got Nadine coming to talk about AI. So my final question to you, Matt Fowler, is what advice would you give your 16-year-old self? And I've got an idea what that might be.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think you would probably have an idea what you would expect it to be, but it might not be what you think it's going to be. I think that my advice to a 16-year-old self would be braver, don't necessarily follow true, tried and tested paths if they don't necessarily fit with where you want to go. So be braver, be curious, and ultimately have fun.
Yeah, perfect. Not so you're not going to sort of like say buy some shares in Google or Apple or anything. Then that wouldn't be your advice to your 16-year-old self.
Yeah, be curious and be brave.
Yeah, I love that. Matt, thank you so much for coming on and diving out of your deathbed. This man flu is really bad. So thanks ever so much for joining us. Thanks to everybody else for coming along. Richard, thank you for your awesome question. And I will be back next week with lovely Becky. Cheerio. Bye-bye.
You get out what you put in.